Hello everyone, and welcome to another Doctor Who review with me, John Parker, and...
Me, Jack Cowling, and first of all, Merry Christmas to all of you. We do hope that you are having a fantastic evening, or have had a fantastic evening and had a fantastic day. Both of us together have also shared the same experience as we do every Christmas day. So, we are going to review the festive Christmas special of Doctor Who. This year, the actual title of this episode was called The Return of Doctor Mysterio.
Mm-hmm.
Now, before we get into the review itself, I would just like to talk about some initial thoughts that we've had for the episode before we actually watched it. Now, I have to admit, I didn't really think much.
No, it looked dodgy, didn't it?
It did. Given the trailers and the clips, it looked a bit kind of strange. However, a couple of things were fixed in that, which I will go into later on when I talk about special effects and directing, etc. But first, the basic plot. So the Doctor ends up in sort of like a... what would you call it? Given the age of Grant, I'd say, 1980s?
Somewhere there.
It somehow gave a bit of a... At the beginning with the music, it kind of gave like a little noir effect. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? Kind of an old-fashioned style there. So basically, the Doctor's trying to figure out how to get this gem thing back into space where this star is. And unfortunately, by doing so, he kind of lands in a bit of a situation and hangs from the bottom of a little boy's window.
As you do when you're the Doctor.
Yeah. So he meets someone who helps the Doctor kind of get this gem back, although unfortunately the gem now kind of resides within the body of that boy, as he thought that it was
Medicine.
Yeah, which is a bit strange, being as the thing's glowing.
It does kind of make sense though, because if you think he was given it first, and he was given the water, and he was told he was a doctor, so yeah, it does make sense that the little boy would think, oh, I see, it's medicine.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a solid object.
It was glowing, and it was... Yeah, it does make you wonder how the hell he got it down his throat in the first place, but, you know, we won't go into the technicalities.
No. So after that, many years passed, the Doctor was investigating this company, although at that point in the story, not much was explained, especially when it came to that company, Harmony, was it?
Yeah, I think that was really...
rushed.
Yeah, it was a little bit of the plot that they didn't really care about. They just wanted to say, oh yeah, there's a company, it's big, etc, blah, 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 here you go. You know, it wasn't advanced.
However, there might have been a reason for that, and that I will get on in a moment when I talk about the writing. So, the Doctor returned along with Nardole.
Yes.
Which, by the way, we still don't know how the hell he managed to get his head attached to Nardole's body.
We won't. I don't know whether we'll even find out about that.
No,
but we were just told that he was.
But this follows on after the Husbands of River Song. Now, as we know from Husbands of River Song, a single night on Beryllium is 24 years, and therefore the Doctor has been spending 24 years with River Song on her last night.
Yes.
And therefore the Doctor has now kind of subsided into a state of
depression
and grief. Grief as well. And he's trying to kind of combat that by getting back into the old swing of things. As he said, he's back now, therefore he's going to start taking care of things like he hasn't been doing. So, following on from that, the Doctor meets this reporter who is investigating the Harmony Company for their strange goings-on and their strange investments, to only discover that they are harbouring alien brains.
Yes.
Alien brains who are actually attempting to take over the world, apparently.
Slightly strange when you say it in that basic format, but, you know, the larger picture does sound kind of cool.
Now, these brains, or these aliens, tend to want to kind of take over human hosts. For what reason, though, I'm not entirely sure.
The only basic plot I think that we were given there was they wanted to take over the big leaders so that they could, I don't know, rule the planet. It was very harshly rushed explanation, wasn't it, as to what was going on there?
It was very. Now, the main theme with this episode, basically, in one word, Superman.
Yes.
That's basically what the theme of this episode kind of entailed, because the whole kind of identity of Clark Kent and Superman kind of turned into the ghost who was actually this superhero who was Grant, the boy who actually swallowed that gem. And according to the Doctor, by swallowing the gem, anything that he'd want to happen to him physically would actually happen. So basically, it's kind of like a shooting star. He swallowed a shooting star. He made a wish, and whatever he was wishing kind of came true in himself.
And the funny thing is also the reporter is Lois Lane, effectively, in this little story.
Yes, that's exactly what I thought when I saw her and the way she was acting out. I thought that's Lois Lane. That's Lois Lane. That's definitely Lois Lane. So yeah, I thought exactly the same thing. Now, fortunately, the brains got defeated by kind of turning their plan upside down and rushing their plan, and therefore using the ghost's powers, he managed to prevent the ship from crashing into New York and causing a widespread catastrophe. And then Unit came in, and all was well, and the Doctor continued on his merry ways.
Very standard story.
So, very standard. A little bit kind of like, there are parts where you'll scratch your chin and you're like, but I'll get into that moment. The main important thing right now is the characters.
Yes, I really want to talk about them.
Yeah, of course, with the return of Matt Lucas, Nardole.
I'm absolutely
John,
loving his character.
Yeah, I know.
Fantastic character. Carry on.
And from what I saw in the Coming Soon trailer, it seems like he's going to be with them for a while.
Yep, apparently it was actually... I was talking to some people yesterday, I think it was, and they did say that apparently Moffat has, I think, said something about him being on for about most, if not all, of the next series. So
we're going to have a trio then again, are we?
Yep. Well, it looks of it.
Certainly looks that way. Now, the two other... Actually, the three main characters I want to talk about now is the reporter, the ghost, and of course the aliens. Now, as I've said, the ghost is a pretty standard Superman. That's basically who and what he is. A human with basic abilities that he wished for from a shooting star. I'm just going to call it a shooting star.
Yeah, for the purpose of this review, it makes more sense rather than have to try and remember what it was supposed to be.
Grant basically swallowed a physical shooting star in the smallest way. Of course, the reporter. I've forgotten her name.
I have as well. What was it?
I don't know.
Doesn't matter. You guys know what we're talking about.
She played the leading role of Lois Lane, although Lois Lane with more of a fierce attitude.
Yeah, very, very strict and wants to get to the point, doesn't she?
I have to admit, the squeezing of that toy thing.
It was so hilarious. I was there laughing constantly each time. Going,
yeah, it annoyed me.
I can see where it would. I was there going, get on with it, but at the same time I was laughing because it was so awkward.
If that was me, if I was the Doctor, I'd just chuck that thing and throw it out the window. Oh my god, that was really irritating. But I can see where she kind of gets her, or how she gets her answers, being for the reporter that she is. Now, the aliens. Now, this is where things get a little bit interesting, because as Unit came in, of course, we don't know a lot about them, do we?
No.
We don't know anything. However, there is one thing I do want to say. Husbands of River Song. Do you remember that bald bloke who opened his head and got that thing out of his brain thing? Do you remember?
I think so, vaguely.
Well, that is completely similar to this.
Huh.
The line across the head, the way they open their brain. Although I think it was a little bit different in Husbands of River Song, if I recall. But that was a striking similarity that I can't really let go on that. So, and my last point is that at the very end, Unit came, and it seems that the brain had swapped host.
Yes, and we didn't see what happened to him, and so that indicates he will probably be returning or one part of the next season.
Which will probably explain why we didn't get to know much about them.
Yeah, it allows the story to carry on.
Yes, exactly. So that is what we believe, folks, is the main reason as to why we didn't really get much information about the aliens, even though we do understand a bit about their biology and how they actually jump from host to host.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the writing, the last point before our verdicts, I thought for the festive season, I actually thought it was quite good. It was okay.
It was shocking. I'll say the word shocking because, you know, we look at the trailer and we thought, oh dear, he's going with Superman themed writing. And we wasn't sure, was we? It was all up and down. And on all of a sudden we watched the episode, and he's explained it quite well. It's a cool way of explaining how superhero powers can come to be. So yeah. I think Moffat's done quite well in trying to explain that story. So yeah, quite pleased. Quite pleased indeed.
As am I. As am I. Now, it's time for our verdicts. Mm-hmm. John, 8 of 10, what would you give this episode?
I would say that the visual effects of the show were a little lacking. There were a few things that didn't make sense. Don't get me wrong, their 3D model building, I mean, that whole spaceship when he was holding it with a hand and had the camera shot, that was quite good. But some of the flying effects, I just thought, you know, they didn't work for me. So there are a few negatives to do with visual effects as well, and how the acting was. So I'm going to say a very high feeling 8.
8?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For me, I feel the same, but I feel like it has to be a little bit lower.
Okay.
Mainly, you know, the starting point before the title sequence, the pre-title sequence.
Yes.
You know, the very end when they started flying up and he's going, "You're a superhero."
Yeah.
I was like,
he drown that word out. You wouldn't do that, would you? You wouldn't drown the word out. You wouldn't be like, yeah, shut up, Doctor.
So it's So I'm going to say a 7.
I'm
going to say a 7.
Okay.
So on that note, folks, that is the end of our Christmas special Doctor Who review. I do hope you enjoyed, and we will see you again in the new year for
Sherlock, I believe.
The Sherlock review.
Before we leave, there is one quick little thing I want to add. We also saw the trailer. Well, I say trailer, the coming soon trailer for the next series of Doctor Who. It looks interesting. I personally am not quite sure about the new companion from what I've seen so far, but I'm willing to give her a chance.
Yeah.
I'm willing to give her a chance.
I'm not gonna.
I don't want to rush into judging her.
Well, no, I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to leave it there. Right, until next time, folks. See you soon. Take care. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye, guys.
Thank you, folks, for watching. If you enjoyed, do please leave a like or comment below on this video.
If you want more, on Jack's side is the last video and the recommended video that we've suggested to you.
To stay tuned for more, on John's right is the link to our channel so you can subscribe, and also we have a link to our website if you want more information about who we are and what we do. Until next time,
take care, stay safe,
and remember,
let your geeky side out. Bye bye, guys.